Yo, this video is for someone who is serious about learning how to network. You have to watch this video through and understand all of these 6 points because they actually rely on each other to work. If you don't grasp the full magnitude of each point, then you wouldn't be able to network effectively and your time would have been wasted on this video. So if that's not you, just click off. But if you are serious about learning these 6 things, you have to watch it through. So for those of you guys who are new here, my name is Farid and I am around 20 years old. I'm using this channel to document my entire journey to $100 million. Now I'll either die trying on the way there or I'll eventually reach it. Now in the last video, I documented the starting of a business and the raw reality of it. Some of you guys had questions about how I was able to build up this social capital to launch the business and have customers right away. This video is all about how I used these 6 laws to build a multi-million-dollar network at the age of 20. Now I am a year and a half into my business journey and I've been able to network with multi-millionaires. I know how they work, I know what they care about, and so throughout this video I'm actually going to be sharing my insights, what I know, and just my general experience in dealing with high net worth individuals and what you can actually learn, because you talk to a millionaire slightly differently to someone who you know. And throughout this video I'm going to be teaching you the 6 laws that you need to understand to be able to talk like them. This channel is still relatively small, so I can answer questions to the best of my ability and use that as your advantage, because once I grow and I have thousands or hundreds of thousands of people, I won't be able to answer your questions like I used to. Now, I started networking at the age of 19 years old and I am an introvert. I don't like talking to people. I like being by myself. I am usually holed up in my room doing work alone. I really like that atmosphere and it's just peaceful to me. When I started off, I had no connections. It was awkward for me to start conversations, especially because I typically don't like to talk to strangers. And I have a social battery, but over the last few months, I've been able to gather these 6 insights. I wish I learned these before going into networking, because that would have made my success rate a lot better in connecting and really building rapport with these people. Number 1, the most important thing that business owners look for and that motivates them is to get more money. It sounds obvious, but when I first started, it took me a while to figure this out. And the moment I understood it was when I was meeting with a restaurant owner who was interested in my content creation services, like physical video production. And he told me, I wanted to make some content for the restaurant. And I told him, okay, what kind of content? And he showed me like the TikTok page of like his inspiration. And then I told him, okay, why do you want to make content specifically? What's the end goal? What's your dream outcome? And then he told me, oh yeah, I need to grow my following online. And then we went back and forth for a while and it was vague, kind of smoke and mirrors. And then until eventually I was like, is your dream outcome to get more customers into your restaurant? And he was like, yes, that's exactly it. And that whole learning in itself translated to me being able to really jump straight to the problem when it comes to talking to business owners, especially high net worth individuals, because I know exactly what they want. They want more money for their business. So if you understand that motivation, you would be able to clearly define and concisely structure your message when you're talking to this individual. And you're able to see their business as a holistic standpoint rather than, oh, I do content creation. Okay, why do you do content creation? What's the point? If I were to step into the shoes of that business owner, why should my business hire you? After learning that, now, instead of me saying, oh, I do content creation for businesses, I say, I do content creation to build the following of businesses so that they can get organic traffic, so that you don't have to pay for marketing. You can actually rely on your organic traffic to then purchase your product or service. So you don't have to spend anything on marketing and risk losing money in ads. I'll take care of your content creation. I'll build up the organic following. And then eventually you'll get loyal customers and fans and an engaged audience into your business. And then I would show like case studies of different businesses on TikTok who have done it. So you can see how that's more compelling than just say, oh, I do content creation, right? Now the motivation behind, okay, why do you do content creation? And then you craft it in a way that hits that pain point, that dream outcome for every business owner is to make more money. If you can tie in your offer or tie in what you do with how you can make them more money, that's a lot more valuable. I was gonna briefly touch on the 3 different ways for business to make more money, but this is all in a separate video. So if you want a whole separate video about that, comment below. But a business makes more money by acquiring more customers, new customers. Number 2, they increase the value of each customer, meaning that they charge more for each customer, or they can increase the lifespan of that customer in their business. So they constantly sell them over a longer time horizon. That's just the 3 main ways on how a business can get more money. So if you're able to get a business more new customers, which is usually in the marketing space, then you would probably get a lot of interested eyes on your offer. If you can figure out a way on how you could use your products or services to increase the value of another business's offer, then you can get money. One of the millionaires I networked with did just this. He had a loyalty program and he would target high net worth individuals buying Prada bags. He would approach Prada and say, if you sign me on to my loyalty program, I have a network of 100 restaurants. You can staple my loyalty program to the Prada bag as a bonus, as an added value. When customers purchase, they can be onboarded onto my loyalty program and get access to all these restaurants for free. In exchange, I get percentage of the commission from your Prada bag sold. And he's actually doing this deal with Prada in Bangkok, which is sick. And he's got clientele in BMW and he's got powerful politicians on his loyalty program now. I think he actually got the Prime Minister of Thailand on his loyalty program at some point. It's sick. We were going to get into a 50-50 business deal simply through me being able to communicate my ability to make him more money. Number two, and this is also very important, is understanding the law of reciprocity. What do I mean by that? It means that you give something for free without any expectation of return, simply to help the person out. The law of reciprocity is very important. If you go to supermarkets, they have tester stations, or if you actually go to some clinics or some stores, they have sweets at the reception that are free. That's actually a form of reciprocity. When you give something, the person has a stronger compulsion to purchase something from you than if you didn't give them anything in the first place. That is why you see businesses giving out free reports, or why software companies have free trials. It all banks on this law of reciprocity, meaning that if you try the program out and you like it, then it is likely that you would purchase it. I was able to do this for one of my tutoring companies. I ran a lead campaign to generate leads for my business. I got 90 leads in under a week for around $3 each, and the ticket price was around $400. It was an interesting learning experience. Someone booked a call with us on the same day that we started running the ads. The law of reciprocity is something that you give for free without anything in return. Now, how this looks like in a networking setting is that you would essentially tell them how you would do it, right? Meaning, okay, your social media sucks. Here's how a good one looks like. I can do it for you. Or you give free value away, like advice. Advice is a very good one. Saying, oh yeah, I actually run ads for multi-million-dollar brands. What you're doing right here is actually impacting your conversion rate. If you cut out the video clips a lot shorter at the start to hook people in, you would have a higher click-through rate because more people are hooked into video and less people are scrolling away from your ad. I actually edit video ads for businesses, so if you're interested, here's my business card. It's an old one. I used to be called Impact Media. I'm not sure if you can see it. Impact Media was my business back in the day. I designed all this in Canva, so Canva for the win. But I would give them my business card and tell them what I do. How this would look like in outreach would be to send a Loom video for free to the business owner, and you would basically explain how you would improve their business processes, whether it be marketing or how they put videos out, whatever your skill set is. Send a Loom video for free to that email address. Person will see it. They'll probably forward it to the CEO or founder, and they would have a look at it and chat with you. It happens every time. And the law of reciprocity is something that if you wield really well, it's like an infinity stone. You can imagine like someone comes up to you and say, hey, I've actually made you like 5 videos for your social media. If you post these, you'll probably get a lot of followers. And then imagine you post those things and you get followers. Would you be more likely to talk to that person afterwards? I'm sure you would. So that's how the law of reciprocity works. You give something for free without anything in return, by the way. Don't expect anything in return. You just give it out for free. Eventually, you would start to build goodwill in the market and people would start to trust you because there's not a lot of goodwill out there nowadays. The law of reciprocity in networking setting as well as in general communications is something that is super powerful, and it works both in service-based business and in products-based business as well, and in software-based business. Literally any business that has human interaction, the law of reciprocity would work very well. Now, number 3 is something that is so important. If you understand this, you can talk to a billionaire if you understand this principle, because this principle is time equals value. Time equals value in the eyes of high net worth individuals. If you go up to someone, you told them, hey, I would work for you for free. They're not paying you money, but they're investing their time into trying to train you. That in itself is very expensive for them, right? Especially if, let's say, they're making $300 an hour, like they have a business to run. They don't have time to train you for free because the amount of money that they're making in an hour is $300. So if they spend time trying to train you every week, let's say for 2 hours, let's say 5 days a week, That's 10 hours a week. That's 40 hours a month. That's $12,000 a month. That's $144,000 a year that they're paying of their own time to train you for free. That is what I mean by time equals value. Time equals money for these individuals. If you are able to understand this concept, you are able to network with millionaires, because millionaires have money, but they don't have time. You have time, but no money. I have a perfect example of this happening where I got in a call with a 7-figure business owner, and he literally said this to me.
We currently, we're looking at putting something in motion at this point in time. My thing, it comes down to time. That's one thing that I don't have on my side is time.
That's it. Time equals value principle. Very important. If you want to network with millionaires, you have to respect their time and you have to acknowledge it. You have to say, hey, I understand you're busy and I understand your time is expensive, but if you give me 10 seconds, I guarantee you it's worth it, or something like that, right? But if you're talking to them in person, it should be more chill. Don't dilly-dally. Don't suck his balls like saying, oh my God, you're worth $1 million. Jump straight into what you have to offer, right? Let's say I was to approach Andrew Tate or Luke Belmar or Ty Lopez. I'll probably shake his hand saying, hey, I like your content. You've been a really good inspiration to me. It is because of your inspiration that I started this content agency to blah, blah, blah. I've helped multi-million-dollar business owners to do this. When you're trying to network with millionaires, do not waste their time. And your ability to acknowledge the fact that their time is expensive is in itself a form of standing out. Keep things short and concise. Don't waffle about when you talk to these people. Be straight to the point. Number 4 is super important. If you don't use this, you will 100% fail if you try to network or build social capital, especially in a networking setting. And that is the power of coffee. The reason why I say coffee is because after the networking event concludes, 90% of people, I guarantee you, they don't follow up with the people that they connect with on LinkedIn, on their phone numbers, whatever. They just leave them there as dead contacts, accumulating dust for no reason. So all that effort of networking was just gone to waste. You're supposed to take note of the people that you want to genuinely connect with in the networking event. And then afterwards, what you'll say is you'll message them saying, hey, it was nice meeting you at the event. Let's catch up for a coffee sometime this week. When are you free? That's when you start building that relationship with the individual to eventually blossom into a business transaction, a long-term business partnership, or a revenue share deal or a profit share deal, whatever it is. That's how I met this one millionaire who was a former spy for the Australian Intelligence Services. He was running a global travel program and had crazy clients like Flight Centre, ActuAGL, which is one of the biggest energy companies in Australia. He's got connections across the world with pretty powerful people, high-level executive people, a lot of hotel managers. I think the Treasurer of Australia was literally in his program as well. It's crazy what a follow-up can do, because people forget these business owners, they're busy as fuck. They've got a business to run, they've got employees to pay, they've got meetings to attend to, they've got operations to deal with, they've got so much things to do in the business. If you don't follow up, you're not going to catch their attention, because most of these people that they meet, they don't follow up in the first place. So if you do, it shows them that you're tenacious, it shows them that you have this drive, and especially if you're young, they would notice that and they would be willing to give you a chance because they were once like you. So follow up. Number 5 is the use of first person power words. The first person power word is what I call the if I were you, I would. If I were you, I would do this. If I were you, I would do that. This is putting yourself in the shoes of that business owner, which then psychologically positions you as the subject matter expert in whatever you're trying to talk about. So let's say you're talking about content creation, right? And they want to ask you about, okay, how do I grow my following? Here's what I would say. If I were you, I would make that first 3 to 5 seconds your main priority. Because if you're unable to hook someone in the first 3 to 5 seconds of your short form video, then they're going to keep scrolling and your competitors are going to be capturing that market. You might as well have lost a customer. If you can't do that, you're gone. That's Law of Reciprocity in effect, because I give them advice, and that is the use of first person power words. Now I've positioned myself as a subject matter expert, and now when I say, hey, let's catch up for a coffee to talk about your organic strategy, they would remember that I gave them that advice. So Law of Reciprocity, they will see me as a subject matter expert. So the use of first person power words, right? If I were you, I would. And follow up. I stand out now because I am interested and they are interested and they would likely organize a coffee with me. So you can start to see how these laws start to intertwine together when you use them in tandem. So first person power words are very powerful if you are looking to get into a service-based route. Number 6 is you are your own stock. You are your own investment portfolio. What do I mean by this? If you see other people in a networking event as bags of money, that feeling, that tone, that intention would portray itself in terms of your aura to those other people, and it's a big turnoff because you just be so pushy. You know what I mean? But if you focus on yourself, If you focus on just giving value from what you know, from the bottom of your heart to other people, and you feel like you want to genuinely help them, then that's the key. You can only reach that if you understand enough of a particular skill and you have enough experience in that particular skill set to dish out advice like that. That's why Millionaires, if you watch Alex Hormozy, he says to invest in yourself, invest in your education, invest in your skills, because those skills would compound in you being paid for what you do. Eventually, that experience from what you get paid for what you do would compound into wisdom, and then you will get paid for what you know. So definitely invest in yourself, because if you're not taking your knowledge acquisition seriously, if you're not constantly growing, if you're not keeping yourself fit, then you emit this loser aura. I have to say this and I have to be straight up about it, but I really have seen people like that. And it's a huge turnoff. And I've seen business owners really talk shit about them. So don't be the person that chases the money and shit. You just look like a scam. The market is filled with scammers nowadays. So don't do that. Don't be a scam. Just focus on yourself, invest in your education, and make sure you prioritize yourself. Prioritize your knowledge, especially when you're starting out. When I went into my first networking event, I already had 10 years of content creation experience to bank off of, because I was doing YouTube videos when I was 10 years old. I came in when I was 19, so that's almost 9 years of content creation experience. I already knew what I was talking about. But if you don't have any skills, if you don't have any knowledge, then pick up a book, watch some videos, stop watching Netflix, stop watching anime, just really grind out that knowledge skill so that you're able to use that knowledge to apply into a real world situation where you're providing value to someone else. But all this relies on the fact that you would have already started a business or started something. So definitely check out the video here where I start a business from scratch so you can see the raw reality of it. That being said, see you next time. Peace.